universe things.
Yeah, they're like building the extended universe back out.
The stuff that I would normally read the books for, we're actually getting with these TV shows, and I'm really glad that they're putting the time and effort into it.
Yeah.
Because, like my son freaking out about Cad Bane, he doesn't know who the hell that is outside of, a couple of the Clone Wars cartoons. So when we saw the silhouette of him in Book of Boba Fett, and he's like, "Oh man, is that Cad Bane?" I don't know. We're gonna have to see.
And you're like, probably, buddy. I'm not sure. Nobody else looks like that. So
it helps.
He's got a very unique silhouette.
Yes, it helps that Filoni's in charge of like the TV shows.
Yeah.
Because he was responsible for the Clone Wars, so of course he's going to bring as much fucking Clone Wars forwards as he can.
Here, I brought my friends with me.
Yeah, like that's where you got Ahsoka, that's where you got Cad Bane, that's where you get fucking Obi and
like a bunch of new stuff that they announced with doing like older prequel TV shows where they're supposed to have like a version of like baby Ahsoka at some point.
Oh wow!
For one TV show that they've announced.
It's gonna be like Mortal Kombat. Now they're all babies.
Yeah,
like because it's kind of funny because
Jedi Order high school years.
Jedi University.
Wait. Who's Screech?
Oh God.
Oh man.
Is Screech Jar Jar?
Oh man, I don't.
If you follow the plot points of Jar Jar being a Sith Lord.
There you go.
I love that fucking artwork, by the way. But no, like I never watched the Clone Wars, so I've got no connection with that shit at all. But like hearing them talk about Satine, the leader of Mandalore, during the Clone Wars, I know what happens to Satine. I know her fate.
Right.
And I am fucking pumped to when they get to that point, because
when the train crashes.
100% the train is going to crash. And I know that because they did motion capture for the lightsaber fight in that episode.
Oh, okay.
And they basically did full body motion capture for the whole fucking fight. So it's less jumpy and more actual lightsaber fighting. But I know the people who they brought in to do it, and it's just like, I cannot wait for them to fucking do a deep dive and figure out who it is doing this fucking fighting.
Right.
Because it's the people you want it to be.
Right.
Well, I was gonna say, and also with all the TV shows are currently at the timeline where no one is getting a happy ending anytime soon.
Right.
Like it's literally going to be decades in the timeline before something happy happens. So.
Yeah. Like I'm really curious to see how they handle the Endor, Endor TV show, because that looks pretty interesting. Because hey, thank you, you're doing a show not about the fucking Jedi or the Sith or any of that bullshit. That's what made The Mandalorian so special. Was you had one Jedi in that entire show, essentially, for 2 seasons mostly, and it was Ahsoka, and she was in it for an episode, and she was gone.
Right.
It was like, give me that bullshit. Give me that story of the random people on the random planets dealing with the bullshit.
Yeah, because if you don't do that, I feel like every time there's a Star Wars thing, it's like, I've always felt like there's something different about me. And it's just, I have the Force. There hasn't been a Force user since Order 66. It's just like, yes, cool. Thank you.
If I want to see something about the Chosen One, I'll turn on any fucking video game I own right now.
Or any movie at any point. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, you guys ready to kick this thing off?
Yep.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Pew, 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 pew.
And the Nymph.
Hello.
Patreon.com/E1M1.
Those ones be numbers.
Get all the cool early access, behind the scenes stuff over there. $5 a month is a recommended tier. That gets you everything. Anything above and beyond that is greatly appreciated. You can get the exclusive Outcast, which is your uncensored, kind of unscripted peek behind the scenes. It's all the stuff we talk about and we're kind of shooting the poops about before we start recording and before we start going live. It also has like the section between the two sections and the titles, because the titles are usually where we talk about food. I should probably warn on this episode too, there's a mariachi band somewhere in the neighborhood, and you might hear it every once in a while. So enjoy. Please don't DMCA me. And you get early access to We Roguelike It, the show where Moon and I are playing a whole bunch of roguelikes. Started a brand new one this week on the Patreon feed. You get 2 weeks early access to that. And Critical Misses, show where Moon and I are going through all the media hits we've missed. We're knee deep in a brand new season at this point. We're clocking along. If you're a patron, season 13 is going to be finishing up this week. So next week, the patron exclusive production meeting will be going out. That's for $5 or higher patrons. That's where Moon and I kind of sit there and we talk about what we're going to do for the next season, come up with season ideas, figure out, are we going to cut anything? How's the show going? How are we feeling about it? That sort of stuff. So if you want a really good peek behind the curtain, production meeting is highly recommended. They turn out, we try and, blow through them pretty quickly, which means we usually end up with over an hour worth of audio every season. So an extra hour of audio just for you, my dear patrons, over at patreon.com/E1M1.
Ones are numbers.
I forgot to mention it last week, but the Game Club crew, which is myself, Moon, and Musim, we did our most recent episode about Life is Strange True Colors. That turned out to be almost 2 hours. So if you want to hear... if you want to hear our different permutations of this game, I think Musim played through it twice. If you want to hear...
this was his second time.
Yeah, you can hear all the different kind of decision trees and branches and all the different endings we got and everything. Go listen to that. It turned out really, really nicely. So a lot of that stuff's been turning out really well lately. All right, Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
Okay. I'm going to do this in numerical order.
Oh,
kind of.
I love a list.
So we're going to start with Risk of Rain. 1.
Okay.
Which is to say that I finally got that final survivor and never played as them once.
Okay. Which one was your final one?
It was the one that's in like the bottom right hand corner that you need to interact with on like stage 6 or whatever it is.
So the lava level?
I think no, it's like the gooey, like pinkish, disgusting
that one. Where you climbing up like pink gooey strands of something?
Stuff.
Goop?
Yeah, it's not tendril ropes. That's what we're talking about, yes.
Right. I don't even remember who that character is, but yeah.
I don't either, and I literally unlocked them earlier this week. But I did that one, and then the only thing I had left to do was to die 50 times. So while I was doing dishes and putting laundry away, I was hitting the A button with my elbow.
Right.
And just hitting try again. Bump that difficulty all the way up to Monsoon, and it was hit the A button again and again and again and again.
Pass by the couch, hit the A button, and keep on moving.
Exactly. So it was very much a case of just kill me now.
That's right.
Please.
That's right.
Very in tune with this week, to be completely honest.
Right.
But I got that. I got my 50 kills, 50 deaths, I should say.
Right.
And I got that achievement. I took my obligatory screenshot and posted to Twitter, and then promptly installed the game.
Yep. Au revoir, Risk of Rain.
All 0.99 gigabytes of
that's right. All 200 megs.
That's the good news. Is if anyone ever wants to play it with me, I can have that downloaded in literally a sneeze, so you don't have to worry about it.
That's right.
Moving on to my next game. Risk of Rain 2.
Oh.
What?
The sequel.
Numerical order, I said.
That's right.
I'm going to stop talking about Risk of Rain 2 on this show. Because, oh boy, was this Risk of Rain 2 achievement week.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Where I'm missing one character now.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, there's that.
Progress has been made.
And also, we discovered how to loot.
Okay. Okay. So what's the looping setup here?
So when you get to the level before the boss level,
Mm-hmm.
the teleporter looks different. It's got like a bunch of like clamshells around it.
Okay.
And I'm assuming it's what happened. Once you beat the final boss for the very first time, you can interact with those clamshells.
Okay.
And it says the teleporter is aligned with the moon, where the boss is, aligned with the location of the moon, not me. It doesn't align with me, it aligns with the location.
Right.
Location, not person. And if you hit the thing and rotate the stupid things, it says it's aligned with the planet. And when it's aligned with the planet, it just sends you straight back to the first zone again.
That's a smart way of doing it. Much clearer than like, yeah, you want to keep going? It's like, I think
keep the same button you always keep hitting, I guess.
Yikes.
So we figured that out. I did a whole bunch of challenges. I got a whole bunch of characters.
Nice.
We discovered more about the lunar coins.
Okay.
We both myself and Rob unlocked the survivor trapped in time, which is the lunar coin survivor that you need to unlock.
Oh, fancy.
I haven't played as that character yet, but Rob was saying that they are a absolute powerhouse of like super high DPS like kind of character.
Nice.
When we were playing together, I was the engineer.
Okay.
The engineer drops turrets and mines and fires a grenade launcher. He's hilarious.
Goodness. Okay.
Here's one for you, Boston. This is one that I know is going to make you have a little giggle and fit and make you immediately want to unlock the engineer.
Mm-hmm.
He can drop 2 turrets.
Okay.
When you drop one of the turrets, it inherits all of the items you have.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's real good.
But it doesn't take them away from you.
Right, it just copies them.
It just duplicates them.
Wow. Okay.
So let's say, for example, you have the stabby make enemies bleed thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you have like 5 of them.
Let's throw out a random number.
As an example.
Uh-huh.
And, you do a lot of bleed damage. And you're standing right by a teleporter.
Mm-hmm.
About to activate it. So you just lace the place with mines.
Right.
You drop a couple of turrets down. And his other ability is a bubble shield, by the way, just saying.
Oh, goodness.
And his primary is he fires grenades, but it's a charge, so you can keep hold of it, and he just like preloads like 9 grenades at once.
Yeah.
I don't like it because it does have the downward arc on it. It's not a scan to hit thing, so you do have to do the aim above thing.
Sure.
But then you drop 2 turrets down and you activate the teleporter, and then all of a sudden you have 3 sets of whatever you are doing.
Immediately deleting a boss.
I think we literally crushed one in about 6 seconds. And
that's great.
It was a Call of the Mountain boss, so there was 2 of them.
Yeah.
It was so satisfying.
Yeah.
And because who wants to fight that final boss again? All we're going to do from now on is just loop. That's all we're going to do is loop.
Yep.
Loop, loop, and loop.
We're going to do the fun part, not the sprinting and running and screaming and crying part.
Yes, exactly. Like, you can call me Bruce Willis, because all I want to do is loop.
What? Listen to Critical Misses, everyone.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But we have discovered a lot. I've got a lot of new characters to play. We discovered a thing that lets you do a thing that is kind of cool, which I don't want to talk about because we have a show dedicated to this type of game that we will do a very deep breakdown of this kind of thing.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to that, we'll say.
Yeah.
Since I am doing this in numerical order, the next one, Boston, you can join me on this one, I guess.
I would love to.
Yeah, we're going to talk about 2.
Yeah, brand season 17 of Destiny 2, Season of the Haunted. Ooh, spooky.
Are they talking about the moon?
Well, the moon is haunted yet again, but it's just a planet-devouring ship this time, and not ghosts. I mean, there's still ghosts on the moon, but this is a different moon problem.
Spooky planet-eating ship.
Ooh, it is now, yeah. So, man, they did something really cool this time. The Leviathan, which is the place that the first Destiny 2 raid took place in, there's 4 raids in there. It's back. It turns out something from the Leviathan has been talking to the pyramids, and pyramids seem to have answered it and kind of took over the Leviathan, and Leviathan is in real bad shape, and it's super haunted. Unlike every other Destiny season, there is a patrol area this time, which is wild, because that is certainly not anything I was expecting. There's a whole bunch to do on the Leviathan, walking around that surprisingly large place. And it's only a fraction of the Leviathan. It's probably a quarter or a fifth of the whole size of it. Yeah, there's a patrol space. There's a brand new public event, which is just kill waves of enemies. It's nothing.
I don't like those public events. Like, I hated it on the moon. I don't like it here. Like, that type of public event is kind of it, because you'll start one, there'll be 4 people, then 3 people leave, and you're like, well, I'm screwed.
Yeah, it's tough, because, like, I feel like there are positives and negatives of doing the match made style like we've had in most seasons. I kind of like that you can just go to the landing zone and it's like, oh, there's like 5 other people doing this public event. Yeah, I'll hang out here. I'll do it. Maybe get some more materials or keys or whatever. There's a bunch of stuff in there. There's the new relic weapon is just a scythe, a giant flaming scythe that you slam into the ground, it spreads a bunch of fire, and it steals health from enemies as you kill them. It's super cool. It's really...
It also does, like, it fires, like, that death, like, circle scythe thing.
Yeah, it shoots, like,
do the regular
flaming discs. Yeah, it's... this whole season is actually pretty neat, because it's very much... It feels very metal-inspired. Like, all the armor is very much, like, skulls and... like iron worked and stuff like that. Like it looks very cool. It looks very, very different from what Destiny usually does. The season story seems pretty interesting so far. In what has to be the dumbest idea that any Destiny NPC has ever had, Eris Morn decides, we'll take the Crown of Sorrow, which is the thing we saved from a raid years and years ago. We'll just bring it onto the helm, the sort of home ship that you're on. It should be fine. I'm assuming it's not going to be fine over the next couple of weeks, because that seems like a brilliantly stupid idea.
I will give it a really big shout out, especially for people who are deep in the lore like yourself.
Right.
The whole concept of the whole nightmares is really cool, and I like the fact that the first week seems to have focused on Crow. And him dealing with his nightmares specifically is just like, okay, this is a really cool idea of, like, you have to face your fears and deal with them in a certain way, and like Aldrin talking to Crow and Crow talking to Aldrin is
right. Yeah, because it's
kiss. And I didn't know that Amanda Holiday didn't know who he was.
Yeah, because it was a thing that had been kind of in the background for the last couple seasons, which is like Amanda and Crow were becoming really close friends over the last couple of months. But he was always wearing his mask around her. He's this stupid looking mask he was wearing. It's really, really bad.
His outfit is the best.
His outfit is very
his
cool.
Outfit is the best.
His mask was really not good looking. But yeah, and she, the very first. So Destiny does this interesting thing where you have the story that's in the cutscenes and the people talking to you, and that stuff gets better and better every season. And then typically the thing you interact with during the season, like this one is the Crown of Sorrow. It has like the upgrade tree, and that's where you get your missions from, and that's where you like focus your engrams and stuff, which we're not even going to get into. Typically, like right next to it,
haunted armor. I want haunted armor.
It's very good. It's very high stat. You should focus that armor. But typically next to it is like a little computer that you can interact with, and it'll have, over the coming weeks, every week it'll have like a new audio log, essentially. And this week was Amanda Holiday finally confronting Crow and saying like, oh, cool, so you lied to me about who you were, and you lied to me that you didn't know what you had done, because you had killed my friend, which is real bad. Thanks for that, buddy. So it's nice to see that they're kind of dealing with some of that. Eris Morn has a seance, of course, which, why wouldn't she? She's spooky enough to make that happen. But yeah, it's sort of interesting. Moon and I were talking the other day. We'll get into why here in a second. But we're talking about our mutual kind of dislike of the aesthetic around the nightmare infection and like the darkness infection. This kind of like spore and mold, kind of like, it almost looks like seaweed, I guess.
It almost looks a bit like the Upside Down Boston. I'm just saying.
Say a Resident Evil 7 or.
I can't believe they call it the Upside Down. So stupid.
Or the Warframe, the moldy Warframe looking thing.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit bummed to see that be the aesthetic behind like the darkness with a capital D infection, because it was, I think, right before you started playing Moon, or like the season you started playing, there was a mission called Presage, which took place on a Cabal ship that showed up in the middle of nowhere and was abandoned. So you went in there and you tried to figure out what had happened, and that was the first time you got to see that infection, like that spore mold infection. And I'm it's not my favorite thing that Destiny has done, kind of aesthetic and graphic and design wise. So I'm a little bit bummed to see that kind of be the thing they're going with, and that combined with the weekly mission Sever. Did you do that mission?
I did. That was where the Aldrin and Throw conversation took place. Where he's got like this sniper rifle, like he's basically at like a sandbag area, and they have a really big backwards and forwards. It's really cool knowing who they are. Even though I wasn't involved with Destiny when the Aldrin things happened,
right?
It's really cool, like seeing them have a conversation with each other and then dealing with Crow after the fact. And it's like, okay, congratulations.
Things are rough for you, man. Yeah. I am a little bummed to see that they're bringing back that same style of mission that Presage was, which is this kind of like confusing maze you're going through, which is like, oh, I'm going to go past the thing I need to go through to shoot something to open up it's like open up a door that has one of those spore things to get through another door. I really don't like when they do that mission. I didn't like it when they did it in Presage either.
I think the reason why is because it feels like a walkie-talkie mission, a walk and talk mission, I should say.
Yeah.
Like it feels like that but if you're running it 16 times a week, like some people will have done, it becomes very much a case of knock it off with the walkie-talkie.
And I'm hoping that future missions, because if you look at the Triumphs in game, there are 6 of those Sever missions, so we'll have a different one every week. I'm hoping that each one offers something different, but I doubt it because each one of them says, oh, you need to go back into the Leviathan's underbelly and keep exploring. And the underbelly in the Leviathan is purposely confusing like that, so I'm a little bit bummed.
Okay, here's my question. You said 6.
Yes.
Who are the 6?
I'm assuming it's 2 missions for each person. So I think it'll be Crow, Zavala, and maybe Eris. That'll be our 3. I don't think the Guardian will have one because we don't really, like, in the story there isn't really anyone.
There is no character.
Yeah, there's no one that would haunt us. So it's
except for maybe the ghost from last season haunting us.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm curious to see where it goes because I think from a storyline perspective, they've been killing it the last couple of seasons from a story perspective, and they even killed it last season when they didn't need to because Witch Queen launched. So I'm really excited to see where they're gonna go. And the last thing we did, Moon, you, and TVGP alumnus, the Hannah and I ran the new dungeon called Duality. We made it about halfway before we kind of ran out of time / ran out of patience. And boy, what a cool dungeon that focuses largely on... Hey, did you play Titanfall 2 and you played Effect and Cause, that mission? You want to play a dungeon like that? Of course you do. So essentially, you're switching between realms, dimensions, whatever you want to call it. So you kind of run up to a dead end, you shoot a giant red bell, it brings you to the Nightmare Realm, you run all the way over to the bell, you switch, and you're hopping between dimensions to kind of get through these jumping puzzles and what turned out to be shockingly difficult combat encounters. Dungeons are not usually this hard. The new raid is not this hard. It is probably the most difficult thing I've done in either of the Destiny games, which is, on one hand, pretty exciting, but when we hit a brick wall, we hit it pretty hard. Because it starts introducing a fairly aggressive timer on you once you hit the
that's always fun.
Yeah, it's not impossible, but it's a lot of like
it's not, but there's just
it's just the extra stress when you're trying to figure it out for the first time. I'm sure after a while you all have it down pat and it doesn't matter, but there's always that you're trying to figure out a strategy right now, and guess what? You got 30 seconds to figure it out.
No, a lot of it was, we're doing really well. It's 2 seconds. We wiped. And we eventually got there, and I part of what I found rewarding in it was us kind of saying, okay, we did really well on that. We need to go faster on this thing, and I think if we position ourselves differently, we can go even faster on this thing, and kind of honing our strategy instead of just saying like, we'll stay alive until we eventually beat the boss. It was sort of like, no, we need to get faster on each one of these things, and once we did, it clicked really in like a really satisfying way. So that was great. We're still cursed with 45-second respawn timers on jumping puzzles, which is just the worst, and I wish... Yeah, like, it should be one of those non-darkness 5-second respawn timers. Like, it's one of those things where, like, Hannah could not make this one jump, and every time he would try and he would, like, just miss it or, like, bonk his head on the scaffolding we're jumping on, he would have to wait 45 seconds because we couldn't jump back up to go get him. That sucks. Like, that's really, really frustrating when we're waiting for minutes at a time just to go do the next thing. And
especially when, like,
that's no fun.
Like, that just feels like bad design.
Yeah.
Like, why would you have that there?
Right. Because if it's like a technical limitation, you want to design that encounter, or you want to design that jump around that limitation. Like, there's this famous mission in Destiny called 0 Hour. It was a 20-minute sprint. You had to kill literally every enemy in this entire encounter and figure out this like maze puzzle. But what was great about that is if someone made it across this big jumping puzzle first, they could hit a button and more platforms would extend to make it easier for the people coming behind them. And I thought that was a great way of solving the problem, because inevitably one person's going to be better than jumping than the other two people for whatever reason. And it felt really great to be able to, like, oh, I already got it, I hit the button, I'm going to keep moving, and like 3 or 4 platforms came out. I'd rather see something, even if it's like a backstop, where it's like, I put up a big wall, now just aim yourself at this wall and you'll make it.
Yeah.
It would have been better. But so far that dungeon seems really cool. It's a really cool design. It starts off with like a jumping and navigation puzzle, which we typically don't get. I'm looking forward to kind of digging more into that. How are you feeling about the new stuff, Moon? Anything we missed?
It was pretty good. Like you said, the main thing was the stupid timer on the jump puzzles. And I don't know. I don't know if it's too many ads. I don't know if they hit too hard. I don't know if they're too strong. Like, it's
I think it's all three.
You got the yellow health bar enemies that have way less HP than they look like they should.
Right.
And then you've got the red health bars who hit like tanks as you get further in.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah. And I'm sure some of that will kind of shake loose over the next couple of weeks as we get a little bit stronger and we kind of figure out our new builds now that the Solar 3.0 is out now, which is really good for Titans, is pretty solid for Hunters, and Warlocks got hit really hard. That sucked real bad. Literally everything in Solar got nerfed in a really terrible way. I'm excited to see how they kind of bring Warlocks back into relevance a little bit, but it especially after Void 3.0 being so solid for Warlocks, Solar being so negative. Like, they took away the overshield from Well of Radiance. Like, that's the thing for that super. And people are like, well, now you can just toss down your Well and your Rift, and you'll have your overshield back. It's like, yeah, but that's not... I'm using my super. I should be able to, like, get some sort of specific benefit here. It's frustrating. But we'll see. I don't think we missed anything. Excited.
Art style is not the best, but I mean, interesting storytelling as always for the more recent stuff. For the
great cutscene. So. I'm excited to see where the story goes over the next couple of weeks. It seems cool.
And it does the drip feed thing as well, where every week there's a new thing.
Yeah.
And we talked about this, but thank God there isn't a huge power light level jump between the seasons, because like
now that you're caught up,
1550, and I was like, what? How much grinding am I going to have to do here? It's like, oh, basically none. Like,
The nice part, now that you're caught up, like every time they release an expansion, the light level jumps by about 200. And now, between seasons, it just jumps up by 10. So, like, you're there already. Like, if you're at 1550,
I've already hit 1560 like yesterday. So,
and the great part, we forgot to talk about this. The great part about the new patrol area is the difficulty for that is 1580. And on the description, when you go select that area, they're like, don't worry about your light level. We're upgrading you to 1580 when you're in there. It's like, great. Everybody can hop in, doesn't matter. That's more of what Destiny should be doing, which is like, hey, you just got this new season, you just got this new thing, you should be able to jump into it on Tuesday at reset.
Yep.
Yeah. 2 thumbs up. Yeah, Destiny.
It's fine. It's good.
Yeah.
Fun. Whatever. My final game this week is MLB The Show 2022. So I'll just do a numerical order.
That's right.
Oh boy, it's my Zen game. Like, I could literally finish all of the achievements in this game within about 10 minutes if I felt like it. But right now, I'm just having fun, hitting the ball, occasionally getting that perfect like swing or pitch, and then just either hearing that as the ball flies through the air, or hearing that whip crack of like wood on ball and then just...
That sound never gets old. Man.
It doesn't. It's so good. I finally, I got promoted out of the double A's into the triple A's, or vice versa, whatever.
Sure.
And then this morning, I made it to the show.
Ooh.
That's right. Joe Random, aka Big Daddy Moon. That's this guy right here.
That's right.
Finally made it to the show.
Nice.
It's baseball. Like I'm just enjoying listening to some random crap.
Right.
Like, because when I got my new phone, I had to put all of my podcasts back into it again, and then I realized like 2 days ago that there was 2 that I didn't add in that I genuinely enjoy some of the voices on. It's like,
let's give them a shout out. Which ones are they?
Comedy Button and Geekbox.
Okay.
Which I was reminded of because Ryan Scott is a thing.
Right.
The biggest nerd you've ever heard of, Ryan Scott.
Ryan Scott, who you might remember from the 1UP days. Way back
1UP days, Games for Windows Live.
Yep.
A lot of that stuff.
Rodeo.
Yes. So I started listening to... I've got like a year and a half worth of content from these 2 podcasts that I haven't listened to. And it's like, okay, so I got 62 episodes each. I guess I can just swing this bat at the ball while I listen to these things.
Perfect for some baseball.
I don't. The funny thing is, I don't even put my headphones on. Like my because sometimes when I'm listening to podcasts, I'll have an earbud in and my headphones over. I don't even bother. I just unmute my television and then have one earbud in, and I'm just like, cool.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit here and swing away.
Yeah. Nice.
Because that's a reference that everybody needs.
Yep.
That movie's still good. I don't care what anybody says. But you know, it's been fun. Like I'm hitting the things. So I finally got enough stubs to buy myself another 50-pack of things. So I did buy myself another 50-pack of things. I didn't get the anime dude again, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna laugh if I literally like got another one of those, and it's just like, come on. But the good news is my Diamond Dynasty team is pretty much just golds and higher now because I've opened like around about 120 packs so
You're
far.
400 packs deep.
Like, it's ridiculous. And okay, actually, let's talk about like how MLB The Show has learned from other things.
Okay.
It has seasons, as everything has seasons.
Sure.
The difference is this doesn't have a season pass, quote unquote.
Oh, okay.
It's just like, here is the player we're focusing on for the next 26 days. This is the guy. Like right now, it's Holiday and Friends, except it's Hallady. I'm sure if you're a baseball fan, you know exactly who that is.
Right.
I don't have the faintest. So it's like, okay, so we're focused on this guy. And this is the program. Here's the XP milestones you need to hit to unlock whatever the rewards are. And it's not a pay one, so there is no 2-tier one. It's literally just hit these things. Okay. And it does the same thing where like you've got moments you can play, you've got missions you can do. Just playing the game gives you XP towards it. It has a menu which I found this week called Other Programs, and I was like, what the hell is Other Programs?
Other things.
Other Programs is every other program that has been in the game until this point.
Oh, so like all the past quote-unquote seasons?
Exactly.
Hear that, Destiny 2? Cough, cough, cough.
So I got myself a gold tier Babe Ruth for completing the starter season.
There you go.
So now I have a Babe Ruth in right field. He's not a diamond. He's a gold. He's an 80. He's a gold. He's not my diamond Babe Ruth who I used previously.
You need to find the egg so you can do his evolution.
Exactly.
Right.
But I just went in. I was like, okay, I'm halfway to this thing. I did all of the moments I could because it was a short season or a short program. It looked like, and I was like, okay, so the rest of these missions are all Diamond Dynasty related. It's just like play X amount of games, play this type of game with your Diamond Dynasty team. It's like, but I'm not selecting this. I'm not like making this my primary focus. Like there is no way to say, put all of my effort towards this program. So it's not like Master Chief Collection where it's like, yeah, this is the season I want to focus on.
Right.
Ignore all the rest. It was still giving me XP and stuff towards the current running program. But once I completed the missions, it was like, congratulations, you did these missions. Here was your extra packs. Here was your Babe Ruth. And I was like, I didn't even select it.
That's cool. That's a really smart way of doing it. There
is 9 programs there that I have missed.
Wow.
That all have missions with rewards and card packs and XP and unlockables and all the rest of the stuff that just by playing the game, I'm getting experience points and making progress in these particular programs. And then when you want to go in and focus down on one, you can just go in and replay the moments that it has. And then by replaying the moments, you can get that little bit of XP you need to kick it to the end.
That's a great way of doing it. That's really smart.
Hands in the air, like, shout out to Sony San Diego. Like, that is genius.
Yeah, like that's really smart.
And yeah, you're still getting the whole pay to unlock packs and buy stubs and so on and so forth. But at the same time, I just did like 4 things and got Babe Ruth.
Right. Pretty good deal.
Like the next program is like the Nike. It's like a Nike sponsored one, so it's like all limited edition kits. But the milestones for that are ridiculous, so I can understand why they're doing it. But like the one after that is like, okay, here is a diamond rated player that you can get just by completing all of these missions. And it's like, cool, I'll go do that. I don't care.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, credit where it's due, because like that's 2 things that this game has got now. Obviously, I haven't played FIFA in a while because FIFA doesn't go on Game Pass in time. I'm just saying.
Right.
Like day one,
a little suggestion there.
You make all your money on Ultimate Team anyway. Just stick it on Game Pass day one and watch that Ultimate Team money just roll on in.
That's right.
But it's 2 quality of life improvements that I never expected to see from a yearly sports game with microtransactions. And then on the flip side, you've got 2K putting literal slot machines in the game.
Oh, we don't have loot boxes. Let me show you the 2K gambling casino. It's just like, that's a loot box. That's actual gambling.
It's literal gambling, and you're telling me it's not gambling?
That's right.
Okay.
It's not loot boxes, it's just gambling.
I did forget to mention, though, that when you open a pack, it does that whole quick flip thing where you can press one button and flip every single card that you've got in that pack. However, it doesn't automatically flip diamond cards.
Yeah, you got to do that yourself. You got to get that dopamine.
It will like flip like 6 cards in a row and then dead stop at the end one, and it's just got this like bluish light coming out from behind it. And you're like, yeah, I got
good under there.
So when you flip it, it is this whole animation of like walking up to a big display board, and then a dude comes walking out, and he's like, "Yeah, it's me. I'm the one at the card." Like Waluigi.
Oh, they don't have him walking out of a cornfield or something?
Oh god, that's the next game.
Say that. The Field of Dreams is in the game.
Oh, really?
Right.
And it's one of the shortest fields in the game because, like, every single hit was a home run. Hit, home run, hit, home run, hit, home run. It was ridiculous. And it literally goes into the corn as well. Like, you can see it just drop into the corn at the back end. But yeah, the guy comes out, does this funky animation. His card drops down, and he's doing, like, his weird taunt. And then, like, you get the card and you throw it in your pocket. It's like, cool, I got a diamond. I've got, like, 12 of them now. So, sure, whatever.
Right.
But it's a really good game, and I'm telling you, EA, get on this. Get all of your sports games on Game Pass day one. Like, they make their money off microtransactions. Imagine if those microtransactions were available to an audience so much larger than the already large one that you have.
Right.
Like,
everybody wins.
We need a Drive to Survive for soccer.
Ah, there you go.
So it can be like this next big thing over in America.
Right.
And then, maybe by then we'll get FIFA on Game Pass. Anyway, that's all I've been playing. Nim, take me to your JRPG land.
All right. Well, the first game that I've been playing is Chorus.
Oh, I forgot about that. I need to go play that so much.
You do, because I've already beaten it.
Nice.
Wait. Every achievement?
No. That's not how I roll. That's how you roll.
That's right.
I know.
No, and actually, the achievements for this game don't actually seem to be that terribly difficult. It's mostly just...
There's a lot of grindies.
Yeah, do this 100 times, 500 times, or whatever. A couple situational things that I had unlocked, like, hey, throw a ship into another ship kind of thing that I did anyway. So,
right.
But yeah, overall, it is a good game. There are a couple instances where I had to shut it off and walk away because it just was not fun anymore at certain points. And I'm not going to say what those are because I want Moon to experience them and then come back and then we'll talk about them.
Sharing the suffering, Moon.
Yeah. But overall, it's not bad at all. I really enjoyed it. But my God, the final boss sucks. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
That's not too surprising.
But you do unlock a lot of cool abilities and stuff that you get to use. Like I was just saying, like you eventually get an ability where you can grab things, ships, missiles, whatever, and just fling them wherever. Mm-hmm. So it's really fun just grabbing a ship that's attacking you and throwing it into an asteroid, or zapping a ship with one of your rights so that it cuts their engines and they just momentum carries them into the side of an asteroid.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so a lot of cool things going on with this game. I really enjoy it. Yeah, pick it up. I think it's still on sale until the 29th. Oh, that'd be today. So.
I looked it up. I think it was last week too, and I believe it's just a $40 game normally too. I don't think it's a full $60 or the ungodly $70.
Yeah, I looked at it too. I thought it was $60, but apparently it's not. So even better.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, really fun game. One more thing to bring up about this game. While I was playing it, I ended up getting this weird error where the game would lock out, and then I would get an error message pop up saying that there was like a memory issue or something.
Okay.
This is apparently an issue that has been an issue with the Series X and S.
Okay.
Because at first I thought maybe it was just Chorus was the issue, and then I had this error to me like back to back after reloading and restarting and all that. So I looked into it, and this is apparently an issue that people have complained about since a lot of it started happening when Control first came out to Xbox.
Oh, okay.
For the Series X. The fix for this so far seems to be check your quick resume. If you have anything in your quick resume, get it out of there.
Interesting.
Because I had Forza 5 still in quick resume. I don't even know how I got it in there
months ago.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know how to move games to quick resume, but somehow that one just ended up in there.
Right.
Except Forza out of it. Didn't have any issues until like 6 hours later. I had the error one more time and then never had it since. So if you do play this game and you start getting the weird memory issue, check your quick resume.
Right.
And that's what fixed it for me so far. So,
good
so much as I even went to trueachievements.com and someone had the same issue and complained about it, and you will find my post in there saying, hey, give this a shot because it worked for me.
Nice.
My last game for this week is I played a ton of Blacksmith of the Sand Kingdom.
Yeah.
I have hit the JRPG loop in this where I go in a dungeon, get a bunch of items, make a bunch of things, sell a bunch of stuff, go back in the dungeon, get a bunch of items.
Right.
To the point that I had to skip multiple in-game days because I made so much inventory that it took me several days in-game to sell it all.
Oh, wow.
And I had tons of money after that. So,
man.
Trying to think, there's not really... Still really fun. I really like just shutting my brain off and playing it. There's not really going on with the story yet, but I had a boss that I had to put elemental abilities on my weapons so that I can actually hit it. And that's like the biggest issue in game that I've had to deal with so far.
Right.
But yeah, really good. Sit down, shut your brain off, and just craft stuff.
Nice.
That's it. There also seems to be an in-game store. I'm guessing this is from when it was mobile or when they moved it to mobile or however that worked. I don't know the whole history of this game.
Sure.
But you doing certain things, you get these jewels in the game, and then you can go into another in-game shop, which takes your data. Like you specifically have to pick a save file that you're running, so that way it knows what jewels to use. And then you go into the shop, and it can you can buy things like books that permanently increase like your character stats, stuff for your shop. I picked up like a pickaxe that was like a 3-star that lets me hit up nodes, harvesting nodes like up to 3 times, which has really helped out with the crafting, which is why I had a week's worth of shop time to sell all of this crap that I made. So yeah, that just seemed like something that it would seem like one of those things that you would get from like, I don't know, Google Play or, the Apple Store, where it's like, hey, buy 10 gems and unlock these extra things to help you in the game kind of thing. So that is in there. It is still free. There are no transactions or anything in the game once you buy it, at least on the console version. I don't know how it is on mobile.
Right.
So, yeah, fun game. But that's it.
Nice.
This week was kind of a hell week and a busy week. So
yeah, goodness.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna put this on screen here to show people what it looks like. I'm playing some Division 2 this week. There's a seasonal event called Polarity Switch. Seems like the community hates this event, which I am tickled by. But it's a neat event that I've never really played before. But essentially, enemies are aligned to either positive or negative polarities. You see they have like a giant plus or minus symbol over their head.
Yeah, this is the one you were talking about, like everyone was quitting last week, I believe.
No, that was the new mode, Countdown. That's the one I don't play because I'm not good. I don't want to let my team down. 7 other people? That's asking a lot. This event is kind of neat though, because essentially you're trying to attack enemies with the same polarity. So if they're positive, you're shooting them with the gun that's aligned to positive. They're negative, shoot it with negative. But the real twist of it is when you reload, your gun switches, both guns switch their polarity. So if you were using a positive polarity gun and you reload it, now it's negative. But your other weapon switches to positive. So it's this kind of fun. It sounds really complicated until you get into playing it, and then it's just a lot of like switching between your 2 weapons depending on the enemies you're fighting. And it turns out to be this kind of fun thing because, in all these games, you're always using the one gun all the time. And even though you have 2 of them and both guns are really good, so it's kind of nice to be able to use both of your weapons at the same time. It's kind of fun to switch between the 2 where it's like, oh, I can't, this guy's super far away and my shotgun isn't going to reach him. Let me just reload this thing and switch to my other weapon and do this other thing. So it's this kind of fun switching back and forth.
Does that impact your skills at all? Like, I know there's a turret in there somewhere.
Yeah, so I run with the healing drone and the turret. I was pleasantly surprised to find out that the turret doesn't care about that. It's just doing full damage to enemies like normal. And if you're shooting an enemy with the other polarity, it still does a little bit of damage, but it's maybe doing like 10% damage, not 100%. So you can still do a little bit of stuff, but it's not gonna really do a ton. But that's great. Division 2 is still a lot of fun. I haven't really, like I've been talking about recently, I haven't really done any of these events in the past, so I'm having a lot of fun just trying to get a bunch of these events done and try and do more stuff in the Division 2. So I'm having fun. It's good.
So I might pop that back in and check it. I don't even remember where I left off. I know I didn't beat the second one, but I couldn't tell you where I'm at.
Yeah, if you never beat Division 2, I would still really recommend going through like that whole story and then picking up the DLC and doing the New York stuff, because both of those are really good. The New York stuff is especially really good, and both of those are usually on sale for like $15 for both. Like Ubisoft is usually
losing money by not picking it up.
That's right. Yeah. See, been part of the show long enough. But yeah, even I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I would always recommend the seasons. You know, in Destiny 2, I would always recommend the seasons. They're always great. They have a ton of content. The seasons in Division 2 are usually a lot thinner, and I like them because I'm not playing the game every week normally. Like, once the season is over, or if there's something in the season that I'm not super interested in, I'm just not going to play it for like the next 6 months or a year or something. So I'm having fun in seasons, but I know a lot of the community is like, oh, here we go, Polarity's back again. I'm like, yay, Polarity, the first time. Here we go, let's try it.
I don't care anything about seasons, so
yeah.
whatever.
And a lot of the cosmetic stuff I don't really care about. They've been putting exotic weapons in the season pass, which is kind of fun. But I'm not like build crafting or anything.
Yeah.
Last game I played this week is the brand new patch and new expedition came out for No Man's Sky. Leviathan, I believe it's called. A little bit of brand synergy here. This one features DJ Space Whale. He has finally entered No Man's Sky. I've not seen him yet. Not gazed upon his 1s and 2s glory. But the other thing that I was really curious to try is their thing was like, we've got a roguelike mode now. And I'm like, how is that gonna work? So
Which
I
had also said too, is like, I thought I had heard them do this already previously.
Yeah, I think they had been flirting with it in some other seasons of like trying some new things. So this mode is interesting because it starts off and you pick like normal, you pick a new save game, you say I want to do the community expedition, and it goes, okay, cool, it's a permadeath one, good luck. And I was like, cool, okay, that's been a while since I played a permadeath, but that's okay. So I go in, I find my ship, I forget that, sprinting or using your jetpack massively reduces your life support, so I'm like, I am nearing my ship on death's door. So I get into my ship, and I like getting to the ship first to then look at the expedition steps. So like by getting in my ship, I finished one of them. I got another one for just starting the expedition, and then another one of them is it says die. It is inevitable, and I was like, that's fair. I want to see how this whole thing goes on. So when you finish, I finished like 2 of those expedition steps to begin with. I got gifts from the past, it said. And I opened those gifts up, and they have the major upgrades for your exosuit, your ship, your weapon, stuff like that. It's like the high tier ones, the ones that are like, scan this thing and you get 15,000% extra credits. Those sort of levels. And I was like, okay, well that's kind of interesting. So I go outside my ship, and because it's permadeath, I just jetpack straight up in the air, and I land, and I squish, and I die. It brings me back to the main menu, and I then go reload the community event I'm doing. And it starts me back at the beginning of the expedition with no steps completed in the expedition. Until I take a couple steps and it goes, oh, you completed the one for dying. Here are some gifts from your past run. The gifts that it gave me were some of the upgrades I had from the previous character that just died.
Cool. Okay.
And I'm like, okay, that's a pretty creative way. I thought it was going to be like normal No Man's Sky, where you find the little like logo coffin with the like the red thing in the middle and go like scoop up your old stuff. But it automatically in your inventory once you reclaimed that. And then when I went to go find my ship and I started the expedition back over, I completed those two, which got me more upgrades by just completing those. And I only played like half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, and repairing my ship as you normally do. I'm sort of like, all right, that is kind of a neat idea. I'm not sure I'm in the mood to start No Man's Sky back over right now, especially with the idea of don't accidentally kill yourself, which I am wont to do in permadeath a lot, because then you're starting the entire expedition back over. It seems. Hopefully, I'm incorrect about that, because that seems like it might be a little punitive for what I'm looking to do right now. But it's a cool idea, and it's nice to see them trying something new with No Man's Sky, as opposed to, here's a brand new expedition, you can get a new cape. Ooh, cool. Like, it's sort of like, here's something different. There was that expedition, which I think was largely a whiff from a couple seasons ago, where everybody was on the same planet. Like, that was kind of neat until you ran into technical issues almost immediately. Yep. But it's nice to see them trying this stuff instead of like, this expedition is a long-haul one. You're going to be going really far. It's like, yeah, but I'm still doing, like, No Man's Sky, So it's cool to see them do it. I don't know how much I'm going to do it. I was kind of excited about the idea of, like, how do you put the roguelike sort of meta-progression trappings around something that wasn't built for it like No Man's Sky? And I think it's kind of neat that they found a cool way to do that, even if maybe I won't interact with it that much. But No Man's Sky is still great. So it's still on Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is. I checked because my daughter was still looking into it. Because I was going to say, before this update came out, the last time I played No Man's Sky, I spawned into my little village that I created.
Yeah.
Which was being attacked by pirates. Right. So then I had to figure out where I parked my ship. Then I had to remember how to fly and shoot so I could kill the pirates. And then as soon as I landed, we got attacked by sentinels, because everybody in my community is a clone and sentinels hate clones. Oh, so then I had to figure out how to shoot again and on foot.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even play that last update, the pirates one. Where there's like a whole pirate storyline you can do now. I haven't played any of that because there's so much stuff in No Man's Sky right now, and I want to try a little bit of all of it, and then I just immediately get mired in, oh yeah, my little colony. Oh yeah, I'm running a colony. Let's fix this guy up. Oh, you need this stuff? Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, I'm doing the agriculture quest line. Oh yeah, you need some mold spores or something.
So you go back to your original base to pick up supplies and realize half of it's underground again, so you have to dig it all back up, and then you're like, I could really improve this base, and then you start improving it again, and 30 hours later.
Yeah. So No Man's Sky is still really great. I still really recommend it, especially on Game Pass. Like, fire it up, give it a couple hours, just kind of chill with it. If it clicks with you, cool. If it doesn't, totally understandable. It's definitely one of those games where, like, if it clicks with you and you have fun with it, great. If it doesn't, just don't force it, because No Man's Sky is exactly what it is when you start it. It's not. It doesn't get good 40 hours later. I mean, it gets better, but all right, that's all we're playing. Let's take a break.
Yep.
Oh man. How much time do you have, Moon? Half an hour?
Yeah. I mean, it's not super urgent, but yes.
Okay. We'll
most of that in half an hour.
Yeah, we'll save questions for next week again. I'll carry them over because I think both of those are good questions, and I would rather spend a little bit of time on both of those. I don't really want to blow through both of them. So, okay. Are you guys ready to wrap this up?
Yes.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about releases for the week of May 30th, 2022. SnowRunner gets native versions for PS5 and Series X and S. Man, this is a game...
truck driving simulator games that I always want to get into.
Yeah, I have been resisting playing these because everybody that I know that likes trying new games or kind of trying games that are maybe B-tier games, the ones that we really love, love SnowRunner. And what was the previous one? MudRunner?
MudRunner.
Yeah. Really love those games in a way that I feel like I would really love them, but it sounds like one of those games where it's like, yes, this level took me like an agonizing, stressful 2.5 hours, and it was the best thing ever. And it's like, I don't have the time for that right now, and I want to.
Have you also seen how gorgeous those games look as well?
Good looking. How dare they?
But it also depends on what they have you doing too, because like in like the truck, semi-truck simulator, like I tried a couple of those, and in real life, it's a pain in the ass to back a trailer up at an angle on a small road.
Right.
In a video game, it's a bigger pain in the ass than it is in real life.
Right. Yeah. I'll one of these days I'll try one of those guys.
Just do what my son does and find the tallest hill and just floor it to 50 and see how far you go.
I like that plan. Next up is Silt, comes out on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series consoles, Switch, and PC. This is the one we talked about in the Nintendo Indie World Direct. I'm just going to throw a bunch of words in there. This is the Underwater Nightmare Simulator, so I will not be checking this out. Thank you very much.
I don't need Limbo underwater. Thanks.
No. Yeah. How about if we made Limbo somehow worse from a terror standpoint? Let's do it.
How about instead of a giant spider, there's just teeth everywhere?
That's right. What if we do cosmic horror underwater? It's like, no, I'm good. Thank you. Next up is Card Shark, coming out on Switch and PC. You might have seen this. I think Devolver is publishing this. This is the cheating at cards kind of adventure card game thing that has been showing up every once in a while. This looks really neat. Seeing previews have been pretty cool. I'm excited to see what this looks like when it launches, because it looks like kind of an interesting take on. It's not a poker game. It's a you need to cheat at poker game. So seems cool.
It's a really unique art style as well.
Yeah, it's definitely not. I think that every time I see it, where I'm like, I'm not sure how I would explain this art style, but I don't think I've seen anything like it before. It's neat. Diablo Immortal comes out iOS, Android, and PC. If you follow any level of memes over the last 2 years, you've probably seen Diablo Immortal. I'm excited to try it because I feel like I'll probably be able to go into it with an open mind, and we'll see how it is. The original videos they showed off of it did not look very promising, but it sounds like they've been working pretty hard over the last couple years to kind of get that into shape. So we'll see. Curious to check it out. Soldiers, SOULDIERS, comes out at PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series console, Switch, and PC. Is not a game I had heard about until today. This is a combat-focused Metroidvania with a really cool pixel art style, and it reminds me more of it's not the same game, but it reminds me a lot of something like Hollow Knight, where it's more combat focused than it is kind of platform puzzle focused. So that looks neat. Go check out a trailer for that. That looks neat.
It reminded me of a game we played for Game Club that for the life of me I can't remember what it's called. So if you hold on a little bit, you keep
Was it a Metroidvania?
It was.
Oh boy. Tokyo 42. Last game we have here. Unexplored 2, The Wayfarer's Legacy, comes out on PS4, Xbox One, Series consoles, and PC. This game is kind of interesting. It's a procedurally generated open-world isometric RPG with an art style that's kind of like Sable, which we actually just played recently for Game Club. Apparently, everybody loved the first game, and I feel like I never heard about it. And everybody is losing their minds about this coming out and how great it looks.
Iconoclasts.
Iconoclast, yes. It looks that has that same sort of like large pixel art style, kind of like a really fluid pixel art style. Yeah, Iconoclast. Unexplored 2 looks really cool. Seems like it seems like it's not just the world is procedurally generated. It seems like a lot of the enemies and the dungeons, the items and weapons and stuff are. So seems like a neat thing. I don't know how much this is going to cost, but this might be something I check out here in the short term.
It's also a roguelike.
Yeah, I sort of... That was my question, was like, if you're going to procedurally generate all of this stuff, I'm assuming runs are going to be short. So hearing it also being a roguelike is exciting.
I'll say on Steam, just the regular edition, it's $24. It's currently on sale for $22.49.
That's not bad. Okay. Yeah, put it on my giant list of cool games I don't have time for, but I can't forget about, parentheses 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, boy. All right, let's move on to news stories. Microsoft shelves their Keystone device. This isn't some, like...
My predictions! No!
It's my predictions! No! I've been predicting this for years. Yeah, Microsoft finally... There have been rumors for a really long time. There's like a wink and nod sort of... Wouldn't that be cool if we were working on this? Wink sort of thing. Like a couple of E3s ago. But this was Microsoft's quote-unquote streaming stick. Whatever, it's probably not going to be a stick, but you know what we're talking about. It's a non-console Game Pass streaming thing to plug into your TV. They pretty honest about saying, like, yeah, it wasn't really good, so we're kind of starting back over. And if you read between the lines there, it seems like, yeah, we're still definitely going to be making one of these, but it's going to be a long ways off as we restart development from the ground up.
It's not something you want to get wrong.
No, because I feel like
you just all you got to do for that is look at which Chrome-related devices would and would not work with whatever their streaming thing was called that I forgot already. Thank you.
Stadia, which is still around, and you use the past tense, which is really great.
Yeah, you had to have the premium stick,
Chromecast Ultra with the remote and the Amazon's Luna also, by the way, is a thing that still exists and has similar things like that.
Apparently, Luna's doing really well for Amazon, though.
I don't doubt it, because they have all the Ubisoft games on there.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's... Yeah, but I think you're right. I think if I was running Microsoft, if I was Phil Spencer Jr., this would definitely be the thing that I would want to get right out of the gate, where it's like, spend $100 on this stick, plug this box into your TV. Game Pass is $10 or $15 a month, and it gets you this giant list of 400 video games across 5 generations. Go crazy. Here you go.
And I literally have 6 controllers.
Right.
So, I can just take one of those, sync it up with that. You know what would be a really smart thing to do when they eventually make this? Sell it as a bundle with a Design Labs controller.
Sure. Yep.
Get the stick and a Design Labs controller for $10 off each or whatever, and then you can have your custom controller with your stick that is specific that you can use for that device.
Yeah, I really wish that... Let's get a little let's talk about HDMI. I really wish HDMI could push more power than it currently does, because I would really love it if this was a thing that you could unplug this from your TV, bring this thing and a controller to someone else's house or your hotel room or a party you're going to, a rooftop party, one might say, and then plug that in and just start playing stuff like that would. But I know there's going to have to be some power adapter. There's going to have to be something else. But I really
wouldn't have to be that much though, because a lot of TVs also have USB in them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you could do USB power, that'd be great. Where it's like plug these two, because the thing I would love is like just plug these two things in the back of the TV. You don't have to get under the TV. Hey, where's the power? Oh, there's the power strip is full. I gotta get all the. That's the light. I unplugged the lamp. Sorry. Like without having to do that, it's like here's a couple of controllers. Here's this box you plug in. Now we're playing Among Us or Gang Beasts or Human Fall Flat or something. Like,
yeah,
you want that experience to be as smooth as possible, and I hope that's what the final version is, because that proposition seems so strong of spend X number of dollars and you just, if from anywhere you have an internet connection, you can just play these games.
Yep.
And just think of the hotel sales they could do once they get the apps to TVs,
100%.
just like how Netflix does. Would I ever sign in with my account? Hell no.
No.
However,
playing Game Pass games with your N64 controller in hotel rooms.
Yeah, there you go.
Heck
perfect. Yeah. I'm hoping they get it right. This has been on my prediction list for like the last 5 years or so, and it will continue to be so. That in Skull and Bones. Thank you very much. But I hope they get this one right, because this could be pretty cool. And our last news story here: Star Wars Jedi Survivor announced for 2023 after leaking a whole bunch over the last couple of weeks. They came out and said, "Yes, fine, okay, we're making another one. Leave us alone,
Shocker.
Please."
One of the best-selling Star Wars games of all time.
Hey,
yeah,
for a little bit there, we weren't sure we were going to get a sequel.
Yeah,
considering how hard they had to push to get the game out to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Respawn says they're making this one again. So the only real specific things we got here are that it's coming out next year, which is not too surprising, and it's only being developed for current gen consoles and PC. So PS5 series consoles and PC, which is also not super surprising. The most recent one that was announced like that is Gotham Knights. Is that what that thing is called? The 4-player.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boom. We did not talk about that on the show because boy, that trailer looked rough. That's a real rough looking game. But it's nice to see more games focusing on current gen rather than being cross gen. It would be nice if more consoles were available, but it's not much anyone can do about that right now. So that's a bummer.
Not really anything anyone can do. It sounds like it just finally crossed a threshold with both consoles that, hey, we can finally make this profitable if we only release it on current gen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I'm sure most of these publishers, especially a huge publisher like EA, they're not going to focus on current gen only if there's still money to be made from PS4 and Xbox One. Developers be damned.
The easy way to check this is, what platforms does the current Just Dance come out on? And what platform does the current FIFA come out on?
Yeah, exactly.
Because look at how many times people kept releasing games for the PS2 and the Wii past the point of them being dead.
Yep, it's the spreadsheet's still green, so we're going to keep putting them out. Check that publish to PS2 checkbox, right? That's not how it works. But all right, that's our episode this week. We have 2 emails sitting in the hopper, but we're running out of time. We're running on a tight schedule this week, so we're going to carry those. We're going to give them the appropriate amount of time, so we're going to carry those over again for next week. You can visit us at...
do a mailbag, get us a lot more questions.
Yeah, get us a whole bunch. I will take a week off and have us do a mailbag.
Help me prove that a mailbag episode is fine.
That's right.
Ideally, throw them all in a hopper for December.
Right. Right.
Oh, I could definitely do days worth of mailbags in November, December.
Yeah, month of mailbags. Here we go.
Yeah.
You can visit us at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page, including a link to the including a link to the Discord server over at discord.tvgp.tv, and the patreon.com/E1M1.
Ones and numbers.
You can get all sorts of cool audio every week. You can help me pay for the show, and as soon as you get your very rich, it's an exclamation mark, Moon. Moonpeer in chat asking the question, tell your very rich friend to go subscribe at the $250 tier to buy Moonpeer a brand new computer.
Or tell your friend who works in PR at a PC manufacturing company to reach out.
Yeah, do you know someone at Evolve PCs? Hit us up. I will talk about them for the next year if they're willing to give us a couple of PCs. Wink. So find all of that patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers.
If you can't support us financially, totally understand. Best way to support us and all of the stuff you watch and listen to on the internet is by telling your friends, sharing on social media. All that stuff helps a huge amount.
Helps.
Yes, a lot. Very much so. And rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to us, and check out our YouTube channel. We don't promote that enough, but no matter what we record, we also shoot videos. So we don't go live with stuff like Pup and Game Club and We Were Like It and all that stuff. Criggle Misses. All that stuff has video versions over on the YouTube channel. Check it out over there. That's it.
Catch the sweet visual gags that occasionally happen every now and again.
That's right. Every once in a while, we got a good visual gag.
Check out the Alien 3 episode for the best visual gag.
Yeah, we got the Alien season for Criggle Misses had some good ones there. All right, that's our episode for this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
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 There is a lot of yelling. Yes.
Whenever you say the website, I always have to resist the urge to jump in with the ones and numbers, even though it's not the right section.
Right. And never hurts to reinforce it. It's good marketing.
TVGP.tv, the ones are numbers.
That's right.
Literally every time.
Yep.
Every single time.
Oh, man. All right, Nimp, what are your titles?
All right, I have We Discovered How to Loop, Teleporter Aligned with Moon, Immediately Deleting a Boss, Leviathan Talking to Pyramids.
It's a hell of a sentence.
Yeah.
There's No One Who Would Haunt Us, Ones and Twos Glory, and If I Was Phil Spencer Jr.
All right, Moon, what do you have?
This is interesting because I got basically no crossover. This is hilarious. Snot Tendril Ropes. I'm going to guess that gets vetoed.
Probably.
Kill Me Now. Call Me Bruce Willis. Download in a Sneeze. Location Not Person. Literal Slot Machines. That's How You Roll. And Teeth Everywhere.
Oh boy. I have Perfect. We discovered how to loop. There's No One Who Would Haunt Us, and Location Not Person. Those are kind of my short list here. We discovered how to loop. I'm kind of leaning towards as my leader. What are you guys feeling?
I like that one.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll circle it. I'm ready when you guys are. So's the mariachi
I'm ready.
band. Kicking it back up. Bap, 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 bap.
Is that racist?
No, it's a song.
I don't bloody know, dude. I'm English. The closest country we had to us was France.
Right.
Okay.
And after all, their flag is just white, so you know. Ha! That is racist. Sorry, French people.
That was, my God, that reminded me of that stupid joke whenever I was looking to buy a FAMAS just for S and giggles. You would always see those stupid ads that says never fired, dropped once. And surrendering, they dropped it. So that's why it was never fired. It was just a dumb joke that everyone would always tell. It's like, are you selling this stupid gun or not? But anyway, I am ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 762 for May 30th, 2022. We discovered how to loop.
Keep an eye out for the Rainmaker.
You close your eyes and spin really fast. It's like you're in a brand new area.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. We appreciate it. I hope you'll join us next week. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.